and please do let us know in the chat so that we crop out anything where you're in if there is an issue with that. But otherwise, if we don't get anybody saying anything like that, then we will use the pictures if that's all right with you. So please have fun, and I'm going to pass you to Mina.
Hi, I'm Mina, the second half of Mina and Naina, and today we're going to be making samosas. I don't know if you've all got a chance to do the prep and chop up your vegetables. If you have managed to chop your vegetables, keep them soaking in water. And if you haven't, then you need to get somebody to help you to chop them. They should be quite small, similar to this. Okay, but we won't need this for the moment because we're making authentic samosas. We need to make the dough for the pastry first. So we're going to make the dough first so that when we are cooking the samosa mixture and the chutney, the dough has a chance to rest and it'd be easier for us to roll out. So that's why I've got the dough here ready first. So we're going to make pastry first. So you will need 2 cups of plain flour in a mixing bowl. So if you could do that, but if you only have 2 cups left, then you will need to save some for dusting for when we roll out the chapati, we call it, for the samosa, and you will need 2 or 3 spoonfuls to make a paste to stick down the samosa. So hopefully you've got more plain flour, but we will need 2 cups now for making the pastry. Okay, so if you could put that in your bowl now. Okay, if you can't see or hear, please shout and just say, okay. And I'm a bit jealous. Some of you are having wine all on your own.
How much is 2 cups?
You're making me jealous now.
2 cups is roughly about 440 grams.
Oh, thank you. About this size. I was going to show you something like this kind of size, yeah. But as Naina's given the measurements, so do that.
1 cup is 240 grams, so 2 cups will be 480 grams.
Okay. So once you've done that, some thumbs up so I know you all got that, and then we can show you the second bit. You need to put a little bit of salt in it so that the pastry isn't bland. So I usually say salt to taste, but half a teaspoon is what I would put in. Okay. And we need to put in 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and the lemon juice is so that samosa pastry is crispy after we fried it. So just put in a teaspoon of lemon juice. Okay, and then you will need hand hot water. So in fact, if you've got a kettle on, then you should put the kettle on and warm your water up. But so it's, you know, it's hot rather than medium. Okay. Now I can't tell you how much water we'll need because everybody's dough is different. Even though we've all got the plain flour, it depends on how much gluten is in the plain flour. It depends where the flour came from, how old it is, what grade it is. So my advice would be to put in small amounts of water and just let the dough get together by itself. So if you just mix in the lemon juice and the salt, and then just with your hands, and then slowly add small amounts of water and then mix it in. Okay, you don't want a very, very hard dough, but you don't want a very, very plain, loose dough either. It should remind you a little bit about Play-Doh, so it's easy to handle, but not sticky. Okay, so just keep adding a bit, keep turning your bowl round and just keep adding a little bit of water and moving your hand, then you'll find the dough getting together like that. See, all coming together. Don't let it get too loose, otherwise you will have to add more flour to it to get it right. Okay, so once it gets like that, what you do is you You put it on one side and handle the one that's still loose, okay? So how are you doing? A bit like making bread. So we didn't ask you about how much experience you guys have in cooking, but I'm hoping that some of you have done this before, or at least made dough before. You see Ruth smiling, so you've done it before.
So bread certainly, but not samosas. So
Yeah, but it's similar to doing the bread flour, you know, like mixing. You've probably done this bit, yeah. So I'm gonna wait for it all to come together. Then I'm gonna put it on my worktop and give it a little bit of muscle. But it still feels a little bit hard, so I'm gonna put in some more water. But please feel free to ask questions as well, because sometimes I forget that not everybody's at the same level, you know. So, but if your dough feels sticky, then you just need to put in a little bit of a plain dough.
Could you show us what it's supposed to look like when it's done?
Yeah, mine's still not, mine's a bit sticky, so I'm just gonna see mine's sticky, so I'm just gonna put it on here, and because my hands are sticky, I'm just going to take some plain flour in my hand, and then I'm just gonna mix it. So then you can see, just blend it all in.
Can I ask, how much water will we add into the dough, if any? Because I was a bit late joining, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's very difficult to decide because different flour needs different amount of water. So just add a little bit at a time.
Just 1 litre.
I can't give you a measurement because every time I measured it, it's different the next time. So you'll need
That's
about
fine.
1 cup, but I wouldn't put 1 cup in straight away. And make sure the water is a little bit hot, yeah?
Okay, thank you.
How soft do you want the?
How soft?
Yeah.
I'll just show you. Like I still need to knead a bit, but if you see, so it's so springing back. And then when we keep it to rest in a warm place, hopefully it'll become a little bit softer. So if once it's all come together, then just put some plain flour on your worktop and then just work it through. Okay. Because we put lemon in it, it will take a while for it to start looking smooth. For a while, you might think, what's happening here? But it does come together slowly. Just persevere and just keep turning it round and then just turn it round one more time. And because we have put lemon in, you will see it's got little like moon-like indentations on there. It won't be as smooth.
Mina, can you tell us why we're putting the lemon in?
Oh, so that when we fry the samosas, the pastry will be crispy because it's nice to have a crispy samosa. There are different kinds of samosas made in India. But today we are learning what is the authentic East African kind of samosa. And this is the kind of samosa we get in the supermarkets here. Although once you've tasted this, you will forget the supermarket one. So that's why I would say this is the authentic one. The Punjabi ones, they tend to put lots of butter in their pastry. So their pastry comes up flaky. That's nice as well, but this is the kind that we get in the restaurants here. So this is what we are teaching, and this is what my expertise is, and this is what we used to make in our restaurant. So lots of experience of making hundreds and hundreds of samosas. Okay. So once it's all come together smooth, put it back in the bowl and just cover it. And just put it on one side because we have lots of little things to do, and we need the workspace. Okay, so once you put that away, let me know, and we can do the next stage.
Is there anyone who hasn't managed to make the dough yet? Please do let us know if you haven't, so that we'll wait for you.
Yeah, and if anyone's has gone too hard or too soft, let us know, then we can tell you how to correct it as well.
Still working on it.
Is this
Okay.
is this what it's meant to look like, or do I need to sort of make it more smooth?
Because we've got lemon in it, it'll take a while to get smooth, but it does get smooth
Okay.
afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, is this not ready yet?
That's fine, just rest it. Put it
Okay,
in a
cool.
bowl and cover it, and it'll work itself.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. But what you can do is, just wet the back of your hand if it's not so smooth, and then just put it on the top of your dough, so your dough is a little bit damp, and cover it, and it'll work. It'll work its magic, and you'll find that the dough gets okay after a while. Just cover it and put it on one side, and then what we'll do next is the filling that we need for the samosa, and for that we'll need these vegetables. So I'm just going to get all my stuff ready here so you can see what we'll need.
Debbie, I'm very impressed. Are you washing up as you're going along?
Sorry, who's washing up?
I think Debbie's washing up as she's going along. I was just being very impressed by that.
Yeah, I think
No one likes to show off, Debbie.
that's the sign of a good chef. But then
I think
the
she's
sign
got
of a
helpers,
good chef-
hasn't she?
I wonder how Andrew's getting on, all that wine you've been sipping away. Okay, drain. Okay, I'm gonna have to move my camera back because my stove is here, so hopefully it'll.
That's perfect, Mina. No, yeah, that's
Okay.
perfect.
Perfect, good.
Little bit there, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is just warm your saucepan while we are talking. Keep your saucepan on warm, and drain the water. If you've got your vegetables in water, drain that water off. Okay. So just need to do that.
It looks like you're all going to be enjoying samosas, and I won't have any because I'm not cooking along.
I'll send you some.
Yeah, how sad is that? I'm not going to get a taste of the samosas now.
We will have to courier you some.
Oh,
Okay.
definitely.
Right. Whilst your saucepan is getting hot, you will need your peas and your carrots and your potatoes. Okay. So has everybody got that? You will also need few green chilies, which you should chop up small. You will need ginger, which you should grate, and some coriander. We're gonna need onions, but we won't put onions in the starting of the cooking. We're gonna put onions at the end, so hold fire on the onions. We're gonna need all your spices that are listed for you. And we're also gonna need some sugar and some garam masala, okay? But the sugar and garam masala we won't need till the end, so we'll leave that for the moment. Okay, and we need some lemon juice as well. Has everybody got their stuff out? Okay, we're gonna put some oil in there first. So 2 tablespoons of oil in there, okay? You can use any oil, but not olive oil unless it says it's okay for frying or something, because olive oil can't take the high temperature that we need for this cooking. And then we need some cumin seeds. Did you all manage to get some cumin seeds?
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Half a teaspoon. Oh,
You're not
no.
on mute.
So just put in 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds in the oil, and if it's not starting to cook, then just increase the heat. Mine was at medium, so just increase the heat. We need the cumin seeds to go dark brown before we can start adding our vegetables to it.
Ina, there's a question. Can you omit the sugar? There's a
Sugar, we
question.
don't.
Can you leave the sugar out? Somebody's
Yeah.
asking.
You can, yeah, you can leave the sugar out. You can put a sugar substitute, or when I say to you put the lemon in, don't put the lemon in, because when we put the lemon in, we put the sugar in to get that balance of sweet and sour taste, but you can leave them out. Some people do like their samosas lemony, then you can put lemon and leave the sugar out. It's all personal taste. So at the end, when it's all come together, we can taste it and decide if we need to add anything else in, okay? So just gonna hold and show you. Can you see the cumin seeds are going dark? Mustard seeds would start popping, but cumin seeds don't start popping, but they go dark, and you should get the fragrance of the cumin as it's cooking, okay? So once they've gone dark, you've got to remove all the water from your vegetables and put them in there, right? And you also put the peas in, okay? Just mix them, because you want the oil to cover most of the vegetables, because then when we add the spices in, the spices will stick to the vegetables. So mix it all in. Everybody keeping up? Because I'm going to now talk about the spices we need to add, but I don't want to start saying that unless everybody's more or less caught up at this
Are
stage.
you okay?
Yeah, so I've got my cumin seeds in.
Okay.
Yeah, now put your vegetables in.
Perfect.
Remove the water. You don't want to add the water in, because
Not including the onions. Sorry.
Don't put the onions
the
in.
onions till the end. We're going to put the onions at the end, because we're going to, the onions, when you put them at the end, it will give a nice crunch to your samosas. I'm sure you're teaching you restaurant style samosas, the way we used to make them in our restaurant. Also, you see, onions release water, so we're not gonna. We try not to have any water on here. Okay.
So we put the vegetables, potatoes.
Yeah. Put the vegetables and stir them, and then now we're gonna put in the spices. I'm just waiting for everyone to catch up so we can start doing the spices together.
Do we put the onions in not now or later?
Not now. No. Hold fire. Yeah. Leave the onions on one side. Yeah.
What's my point?
Right, so I've accidentally put the onions in. Will that mess up my samosas?
No, it won't. Don't worry. It just give it a different taste. So don't worry. That'll be fine.
Okay.
what we'll have to just keep an eye that the samosa mixture doesn't get soggy or something in case the onions release any water or anything, but don't worry, it's just a different taste. Okay, so now we need to add the spices. Okay, so start with the salt to taste. For me, I would say I need 1 tablespoon of salt, and then I can taste at the end. Okay.
Mina, did you mean tablespoon or teaspoon?
Teaspoon, sorry. The chopper got you away. Just testing.
Or to taste.
Yeah, salt to taste here. And then chili powder again to taste. I'm going to put in half a teaspoon. My chili powder is quite hot. And I'm also going to add in green chilies. So half a teaspoon of chili powder, but again, to taste. Put in half of the green chilies I asked you, because at the end we will taste. And if we need anything hotter, we can always add more. Okay. Put in the ginger. Okay. So everybody with me so far? The lemon and the sugar will add at the end, and then people can decide whether they want to add the lemon and sugar. The garam masala also we will add at the end. The coriander, we will also use it for garnishing at the end, so we don't need to add any of that at this stage. Okay. Have I forgotten anything, Laina, Arun?
No, you're doing well.
Thank you. Everybody else doing okay?
Can I ask a question? Have you
Sure.
put the fresh chili in yet, or is it just chili powder?
Yes, I put half, and I'm going to save the other half because I like putting the other half at the end when they're not cooked. So when I'm eating my samosa, I get a bit of a crunch. Also, if the chili is hot, we don't want to put all of them in. And then at the end, when we taste the mixture, we can decide whether to add the chili or not. So that's why I'm saying hold fire on half.
Okay, thank you.
And coriander we'll put at the end. So
Is my ginger going in now as well?
no, we'll put the onions at the end. If you have done it by mistake, that's fine, but we'll put them at the end. See, when you put all the spices in, you will find that some water has been released, which is good because that's going to help to soften the vegetables. So just mix everything in, and then we need to put the lid on.
Okay, ginger in.
Okay, and we need to cook this for about 5 to 8 minutes. We will check in between. Okay.
What else? Garam masala's at the end.
Garam masala at the end, yeah. Onions at the end. Coriander at the end. So we've got this cooking away slowly, and on another cooker we can put our chutney mixture in. So both of them are cooking away whilst I'll talk you through what to do with the pastry then. So keep your onions diced and ready. Okay.
What about the cinnamon sticks?
Oh, I was trying to look to see whether I'd asked you to get the cinnamon sticks. Usually we put them with the cumin seeds, but I wasn't sure if I'd asked you to get them. You know, when we add the cumin seeds, that's the time we add in the authentic way, we add cumin seeds and the cloves with the oil. And then, but what happens at the end is sometimes everything gets cooked and you never find them to fish them out. And then when you're eating a samosa, you bite into a cinnamon or a clove. So don't worry if it's been missed out, but that's the stage you would have put them in. But we're going to add garam masala, which will have all the cinnamon and cloves and pepper and everything. So hopefully that'll bring out the flavors as well. Okay, so are you guys ready to put the chutney on your other stove?
There's a question. Somebody's saying, should I put the peas in? So I think, can you just say what's in your pan now?
Yes, put your peas in as well. Everything should be in now, all your vegetables, yeah? Samosas from countries like East Africa and Gujarat, we use potatoes, peas, and carrots. In Punjab, they just tend to use potatoes on their own. Some countries only put potatoes and peas. I think the Gujaratis are the only one that also add carrots to it. And as I said, that's the style that the restaurants tend to do, but sometimes you can't work out what the restaurants have put in their samosas. I don't know if are you all vegetarians? Because if you're not, you can add minced meat or even small pieces of chicken or something to your samosa filling. You know, if you want to, sometime in the future. Okay. Another question? Or?
Can you put spinach in the samosas?
You can if you want to. There's nothing to say you can't. You know, these days people put everything in samosas. I've seen parsnip samosas. I've seen
chocolate samosa.
but this is the authentic way. But if you want to put in a little bit of spinach, there's nothing wrong in doing that. Because when it's cooked up, it'll just look like coriander, won't it? Don't fancy the parsnips, no, neither do I. But I picked up a recipe in Waitrose where that's what they were doing, parsnip samosas. So I thought I'd just mention it. And they were using phyllo pastry to roll up the samosas. So, but we are going to make the pastry ourselves. So that'd be the authentic way. So whilst this is cooking, shall we put the chutney? Is everybody making chutney? Yeah. Yes, everybody's making chutney? Good. So it's really very easy. All the ingredients I told you go into the bowl, so into your saucepan. So half a bottle of passata, but you can use as much. This chutney lasts for a long time, so you can you know, make it and keep it in the freezer as well if you want. Whilst we're doing that, at the same time, keep an eye on your samosa mixture. You don't want it to be sticking to the bottom or anything. You just want it to be gently cooking and in its moisture. If you find your mixture doesn't have any moisture, put in 2 or 3 tablespoons of water. Okay, so back to the chutney. Is everybody ready? Shall I tell you what to put in the chutney? So half a can of tin tomatoes or passata. You're going to put 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Again, lemon juice is to taste. If you guys don't want to put sugar in your lemon, then you can reduce the lemon juice and again, at the end, decide. Okay.
Just want to say, we were told to get puree. Is tomato puree what you're saying in terms of passata?
Yeah. No, I said.
Or maybe I looked at it wrong.
So first items, tin tomatoes, and then tomato puree or ketchup. Yeah.
So is there a fix to that? If she's got puree, can we mix it with water, Mina, to make it a little bit more runny?
Yeah, you can. So just trying to find my ketchup, but never mind. Okay, put in the lemon juice and the garlic. Again, as much garlic as you want. I've done about 3 cloves and about 1 inch of ginger. And I've put like 3 green chilies. Now all this is going to be blended at the end, so it will be really nice. And a little bit of coriander. Thank you, Arun. So again, you can either chop it or you can put it whole because we're going to put it all through the blender, okay? So a little bit of coriander, and then we need to put some salt in there as well. The salt to taste, but because we put lots of chilies, I would at least put half a
Arun, can you
teaspoon.
please let somebody in there in the waiting
Right,
room?
okay, Min.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we need to talk that person through what we're doing?
Darren, are you cooking with us since you've joined a little bit late?
Oh, hi, it was Jason. I just logged in after a power failure on my iPad, so I'm back cooking. Last thing I had was putting all the vegetables in the pan, putting the lid on, letting that cook for 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay, have you put your spices in?
I put the ginger in, the seeds, chilies, but not the garam masala yet, or the cinnamon or anything like that.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
that's
good.
fine.
Okay, perfect.
Good. You're fine. We thought once that was softening, we would get the chutney going. So if you get another saucepan and put in actually nearly all the ingredients that I had listed on there. The half a can of passata tomatoes, 1 tablespoon of lemon, a little bit of tomato puree or ketchup. That's just to give it that zing in there. And then again, sugar and lemon just to give it the sweet and sour taste. But if you're not putting in sugar, that's fine. Put in some garlic, green chilies. Actually, I didn't put ginger in the list. Sorry, I put some ginger in as well. It's one of these that you can mash up with whatever you have in your fridge. But you need to make sure you put some salt in it. And whilst we broke up to let you in, I can't remember if I put the salt in or not, so I'm going to have to taste mine to see. Yeah, I did put the salt in. So salt, pinch of turmeric, okay, and a tablespoon of coriander and cumin powder. So
teaspoon.
Teaspoon. I keep doing that. And silly me, I didn't switch it on. You need to switch on the gas as well. So I'm going to put some sugar in because I put some lemon in as well, and I do like sweet and sour. Okay, so I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon. But again, we can taste it at the end and decide. So once you put all that in, just let it simmer slowly, and we'll just check the samosa mixture, see how that's getting on. Okay, nearly there, but not quite. I think my potatoes need a few minutes more. They're getting soft, but I need them softer because when we put them in the samosa, yeah, we need to just try breaking 1 potato, and it should really become mash when you fry pressing it. So it needs a few more minutes. Okay. So everybody's chutney okay? With the chutney, once it gets to one simmer, we can switch it off, and then when it cools, we put it through the blender, okay? So if you guys have got a few minutes, make some space because we're going to start making the pastry, and we'll need space for that, okay?
Nina, the question is, do the potatoes need to be cooked fully?
Yes, they should. At least when you are pushing it with your spoon or something, they should break up quickly, Because otherwise, when you're eating the samosa, you don't want to bite into a half-cooked potato. It won't take long. Another minute or so, you'll see how quickly it starts to get together. Okay. So we still need to put in the sugar, the lemon, the garam masala, and the coriander and the onion. So keep all that ready. And then we need to start then thinking about making the pastry. Okay. Just trying to make some space so you can see.
How long do we have to keep the chutney?
The chutney, as soon as it simmers, we can switch it off. So you just need to heat it up once at least, because that way it won't go off. I mean, you could blend all these together without cooking and it would taste nice as well. But by cooking it, you're going to make it last longer. Okay.
Do I need to add water to my chutney? Because it's quite like saucy.
You can.
Okay.
It's a personal taste, yeah?
Okay,
You can. Because we're gonna need this to dip our samosa in. So if you feel it's too thick, you can always add more water to it, yeah? I try to refrain from adding water because I feel that way my chutney might not last so long. That's the only reason. And I'll use passata, which is quite runny anyway compared to tinned tomatoes or something. Okay.
I think a couple of people, Mina, use the puree, which is thicker.
Yeah.
But can they add a little bit, a couple of tablespoons of water?
Then they can, yeah. Then they should. Okay.
Are we all ready for the tough part now?
I'm getting ready for the samosa, but I'm just waiting for everyone so that, you know, once they've got their chutney going, like mine's already had the first bubble, so I'm going to switch it off. And actually, I'm going to put it away because I want everybody to be able to see what I'm doing here. So that's what my chutney is looking. When it cools down, I will put it through the blender, okay? And obviously, I will taste it in a minute to see what it's like. We'll need a dry frying pan as well for making the pastry. We need a dry frying pan, okay? But let's just see what this looks like. What's everybody's mixture looking like? Are your potatoes starting to soften? Because if you use the back of your spoon now and just press your mixture, you'll find that the potatoes start to soften and break, and any moisture will start to get absorbed by the potatoes, and your mixture will start looking dry. So has everybody's potatoes cooked?
Thumbs up.
Yeah? Mine are a little bit hard, so I'm asking.
No, mine have still got a little way to go, I think.
Yeah, I think mine as well. I don't want to.
Yeah, mine are not cooked.
Yeah, so I think just give them a stir. We've got to keep an eye because it won't take long.
Do we need to wait for the potatoes to be cooked before we put in the onions, did you say?
Yeah, because we want the onions to be nearly raw when we put them in the samosa, so that when we fry them, they'll give a nice crunch to our samosas, and you will get the flavor of the onions and the garam masala and everything in your samosa. So that's the idea of putting everything at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So if you guys have nearly ready, what I would suggest is dry frying pan, or if you've got something like this, this is what we make our chapatis on, then you need to put that on medium heat, but on a very low, yeah. Whilst that's heating, I'll show you how we make the pastry, okay? I also need to keep an eye on this so that this doesn't burn. So if you just take the pastry dough and give it another mix, you'll find that it's now really nice and soft. And it might even have expanded a bit. Okay, for this one, we will need the dough. We will need loose flour for rolling out, and we will need some oil. And you will understand why in a minute, okay? I'll wait until everybody's ready for this. I don't want to start showing and some people not ready. Yeah, nearly there. Did anyone need to add water to theirs, or was it okay? The mixture, you can see it's coming quite nice and dry now. Okay, and the potatoes are cooking. So as I'm pressing, they are. So give it another minute, and then just lower the heat on your frying pan, and what stage are you at, Andrew? The chutney done? Okay, and your potatoes cooked, or a few minutes left? Potatoes cooked? Not yet. Okay, mine too. I'm just waiting for them to soften. Shall I just show you how to make one pastry, and then we can go back to adding the rest of the things, okay? Could you add paneer? Yes, you could, and you would add it now at the end stage. Cut it into very small pieces. Okay, you'll need two little bowls of dough, the same size, okay? And a little bit smaller than a golf ball. Two little, yeah. About size of my 3 fingers, like that. If you want to lower the heat on your samosa mixture, because we don't want that burning whilst we're looking at this, okay? Oh yeah, you will need rolling pin as well. Right, everybody got the 2? So just put one in the dusting and roll out about 3 or 4 inches by turning it round. So you get a circle, yeah? About this size. Say about like that. And we do the same with the second one. You roll and then you turn, you roll and you turn so that you get a circle, okay? And both should be nearly the same size. You should have two circles side by side like that.
How many are you expected to make from the dough? Just so I know how much.
About 25.
25.
Okay, about 25.
All right.
Okay, so out of these, you will get 4 out of these.
Okay.
Out of 2 bowls, you get 4 samosas. So once you reach this stage, give me a thumbs up and then I'll show you what to do next, yeah? So roll both of them out about 3 inches circle.
Mina, can you show your rolling pin? Somebody's intrigued with the shape of it.
It's the Indian Gujarati rolling pin, but you can use the fat one as well. There's no difference. This is what our moms used to use. And this one is a fairly new one, but I have one that I inherited from my mom, and it's a lot thinner. And a little bit of the end is burnt, because when in Kenya they used to cook with charcoal, and then she would use the end of a rolling pin to move the charcoal around as she was making her chapati. So I always remember my mum when I see that rolling pin.
Somebody's asking how thick your little flatbread thing you rolled is. How thick should it be?
Okay, let me show you. My mixture is quite ready, so I'm going to really keep it low. It's going to get thinner, but at this stage, it should be about this thick. How can we just like a tortilla?
3 millimeters.
Sorry, a little bit thicker than a tortilla you would buy in the shop. Yeah, because when we roll it out, it will look like a tortilla. Okay, so put the two next to each other. And please lower the heat on your samosa mixture, because I can see mine is nearly ready, but I'll show you how we do one. Okay.
Question from
Go on. I can't hear
Kelly.
you.
Question from Kelly. Should the rolling pin be nice and thin?
No. I'll find my thick one, and we can use the thick one. We can use the thick one as well, okay? So don't worry. It's just what I'm used to. So once we've done these two, you need to spread oil on one side of your chapati. And you will find out why in a minute when I show you the final product. Okay, oil on one chapati, and the other one plain flour. Like that. Yeah. Are you able to show through the iPad, Arun? What they look like?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, then you put one on top of the other, and then you roll them out again, but you need a little bit of dusting flour, not too much. Okay, and then you roll, turn, roll.
You want the oil inwards or outwards, or both on the top?
No, so you put the floured side and the oiled sides together.
Together. And then you slowly turn them around, yeah? If you do it slowly, like one round and turn, then you'll get a circle, yeah? Once I've shown you 2 or 3, you'll know what I mean. Okay, so make this like the thickness of a tortilla now, because you put the two together. Okay, so you can do it with a thick one as well. In fact, the thick one is a lot nicer because the middle bit moves. And then on your frying pan, which should be at very, very low, you cook this very, very lightly. It should almost look like the tortillas you buy in the store. Okay. And then turn. Yeah. And my frying pan wasn't quite ready. But once we get the temperature, first one always is a problem, then things get easier. So if you see bubbles starting to come on yours, then quickly turn it over. You don't want to overcook it because you want it to be still supple to be able to put the samosas in. Okay. So I think I put mine on a bit too low. Come on. It's embarrassing when you're teaching and then things go a bit slow. So it should start to have little bubbles. If I can bring it to the camera. It should have little bubbles on it. That's how, and you will actually start to see it cooking now, but we don't want to overcook it. It's just to make things a bit easier for us to, and then once it's this stage, you bring it to your worktop and just hit it slowly, and it should separate into two. So then you have like two tortillas, and this is what we will need for filling our samosas in. And when we make these, we make them in a pile, and we always keep them between 2 sheets of kitchen towel, because you don't want them to dry up. They would be very hard to handle if they dry up. So if you've got a tea towel or a kitchen paper, just put them between that. And I think our samosa mixture is ready. So let's finish putting our things in the samosa mixture. So mine's really ready now. I can see as you move, you'll find the potatoes are breaking. Just
there's a question. Do you need to use a damp towel or just a
No,
normal towel?
Normal towel's fine. Yeah. So sorry now. Back to the samosa filling. It should be cooked now. If it's cooked, turn off the heat, because we want the filling to be cool enough to put inside our samosa. So turn it off, and now add the onions. Okay.
Silly.
Okay. Now you can add the onions in. Coriander. Again, as much as you want or as little as you want. Some people don't like so much coriander. I don't mind it. And I'm going to put a little bit of green chilies. Hopefully it'll just give it a nice kick. Okay, and then the garam masala, which we were going to put at the end. So about half a teaspoon. And then I'm going to taste it. And if I like the taste, I might add more. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of sugar as well. But you don't have to if you don't want to. Put all that in and give it a mixture. And then we sort of spread it out in our saucepan or frying pan.
Do you add the lemon now as well, Mina?
Yes, we do. Yes, thanks. Yeah.
Saima is asking, what if you can't split the pastry?
I can't hear you, Arun.
Yeah, Saima is saying, what if you can't split the pastry?
Cut it in the middle, and you should find it's easy to separate out. Cut it into two, like say it's a joint like that. Yeah, when you cut it in the middle, you'll find it'll separate like that. So try that. But otherwise, for the next one, use more oil. Yeah, that's why we need to put that oil in. So make sure your samosa thing is switched off and spread it out, okay? Because we want it to cool. In fact, why don't you all taste a bit and then take some out in a bowl or something so it starts to cool? Because then it'll be ready for us to put in our samosas. I'm just going to take some out in here. So any comments? Anyone tasted this? What do they think? Yum. I think mine needs a bit of salt. So I'm going to resist it. Salt's not good for you. Oh, this would be nice in between a sandwich. Ooh, anyone tasted this? Mine's really nice.
We've got a big thumbs up from Matt and Fiona.
Right, we'll do one or two more of those pastries, and then I'll show you how to fill up the samosa, okay? So if you can get 2 of those dough balls ready, the same size.
Somebody else is having a problem splitting their pastry, so could you?
Yeah, we'll put more oil in. That's what we have to do, okay? But I'll show you, yeah? You put first put some flour on both sides and roll them out, yeah? So roll one, and it just keep turning, as I say, to get a circle, okay? And then at the end, I'll show you at what speed we used to do it in our restaurant. So that's one circle, and the second circle. This is a good thing to do with kids because you can get them involved in all the cooking, especially the filling of the samosa. Okay, you got to round this, okay? Everybody ready so I can show you? Darren, you got two round chapatis? No? Okay, if you can make 2 round chapatis. At the same time, spread out your samosa mixture so it's starting to cool. Because we don't want to fill hot things in there, okay? Right. Okay, I can't see what anybody's doing, but if you got these two, then we need to put oil on one side and don't be miser in your oil. It should cover the whole of your chapati. And that's what helps to separate it, okay? Oil, and then on the other side put flour, plain flour. So we need 2 like this. Okay. Has anybody managed it and they want to show me? I can see Andrew rolling out frantically. Yeah, okay, we get the second one done. Yeah, and then put them on top of each other. So you join the oil and the dry parts together like that. Okay, so the oil and the flour bits are in the middle. Okay, so who was it? Kelly was the one who can't get it here. Kelly, do you want to?
Saima.
Yeah.
Simon, do you want to follow me? Are you following me?
I'll be honest, I've got a bit lost there along the way. So I've got my 2 rounds.
Yeah, then put oil, spread oil on one side.
Yep.
And spread plain flour on the other side.
Okay.
Okay, and then join 2 together.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just put some plain flour on the outside so it's easy to roll. And then we roll it slowly, just one side and then turn, one side and turn, and keep watching. You don't want the 2 to move away from each other, so you can one side and yeah. So don't rush this stage.
Oh.
Okay. Because if you go slowly, then you should get a circle or some sort of a shape which will help us to make samosa, yeah? Okay. Right, and now we need to, the heat should be medium, not too high, because you don't want them to burn, you don't want it to overcook. And the heat is just to help us separate the 2. So don't lose patience as well. We just need, and as soon as you see little bubbles, you know it's time to turn over.
Oh, what's his frying then now? What does that mean?
Is your dough very sticky, Andrew? Is your dough very sticky? Okay. Yeah, as soon as you see little bubbles like that, you turn it over. Okay. So we're not going to overcook it because otherwise it'll be too hard and it'll break when we try putting the samosas in. So as soon as you see little bubbles, you can, in fact, you can remove it. And what you do is so if there's any air inside, it helps to separate, and then it'll just separate. Okay, and then what we do is, because we're going to make some, 2 will help us make 4, so we just
Well
cut
done,
it in the middle.
Simon. She's managed to separate
have you?
hers.
Oh yeah, you need to put oil. I know we try to be careful, but what you could try is maybe use spray oil if you're that worried about, then that might help. So I'm going to show one more time and then we'll show you how to fill, okay? So we'll make 2 more, so that way we should get to 4 and 4, 8 and
12
samosas, yeah? What's everybody want to do? Do they want to fry theirs or do they want to bake theirs?
I'm going to fry mine. I've got a deep fat fryer. What temperature do I need?
I think deep fry is a very good idea. And get really nice crispy samosas. So just put dry flour on both your balls of dough and then roll them out about 3 inches, or roll them out similar size. So
what temperature do we need for the oil?
I don't know about deep fat fry, but when I'm frying it in my karai, I heat the oil to maximum and then I lower it. And then I put the samosas in, because you don't want them to cook very fast. You want them to cook slowly, but you want the oil to have that boiling temperature first. Okay. So is that how your deep fat fryer would work?
It works on whatever temperature I tell it to work on, so I'll go for about 150.
Yeah, go for like medium then. You want them to cook slowly, because today we are all right because our pastry will be hot and our filling will be hot, but say you decide to freeze them or you're going to have them tomorrow, then you want them to cook so that the outside is crispy but the inside is hot. But if you put it in very hot oil, outside will cook and you think, oh, it's cooked, and then you bite into it and inside might be cold. So for that reason, we have to cook them at quite a low heat, and you want the outside to be crispy, and that's another reason for putting it at low heat.
Timer is air frying. Can you do that?
You could. You just spray it with oil and you put it in the air fryer, but Naina will tell us what temperature. I'm not very sure about the temperature. So the air fryer.
Also, if you're baking, should they not put their ovens on now?
Yeah, who's baking?
Mandy, I think, is baking them.
I've changed my mind. I'm going to use the air fryer instead.
Oh, okay. But if you are baking, then perhaps preheat your oven to 180 degrees or 350 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, actually, I'll do mine as well.
Yep. So 180 centigrade, 350 Fahrenheit, and start preheating your oven if you are baking them. The air fryer, I'm not sure because I just put mine on the frying option on there. When I want to put the samosas in, I don't actually preheat it, but then mine's quite an antiquated Tefal. So you don't need to preheat that one. You just put it in when you're ready to put the samosas in and then put it on the frying option. So you just brush the samosa with oil and then.
Right. Does anybody else want to watch this, how we do the chapati, or is everybody feeling confident about this? Because after I show this one, I'll show you how to fill them. So any questions or anyone? So make sure you put in plenty of oil and plenty of flour, and then mix the 2 together, and then just don't rush the rolling out. Try, because if it gets creases, then when you separate, you'll get holes as well. So just do it very slowly, gently, yeah? If you just start going around one direction and just keep pulling them down, and also make sure you don't forget the edges. You don't want the edges to be thick. So remember to roll the edges as well. When you get this to the size of like a tortilla, then you can just roast it slightly and it should separate. As I said, don't overdo the roasting, otherwise the samosas will break because it becomes too crispy then. But as soon as you see little bubbles, because once you start doing it, you'll know what temperature is right, and then it'll just become automatic. When we were doing these for the restaurant, we would do like 5, 6 layers, roll them all out, and then as you were cooking, you would separate each layer out. So like you would take one layer off and the other layer off. Here we're just doing with 2. And one thing about when we're doing 2 together, we managed to get this quite thin. So if you've managed to do 3, then we've got 12 samosas we can make.
How do you get them circular?
Sorry?
How do you get them circular? Mine are not really circles.
That's okay, as long as we can we can work around it, as long as they're not too bad. Yeah. I'll show you how to fill them, but to fill them we also need to make some glue. So to make the glue, you probably remember this from your school days, you need to put some water on your take 3-4 tablespoons of plain flour and add water and mix it until you get the glue consistency. So just keep mixing with a spoon and do you do this for any other cooking, this kind of glue? Okay. It should be quite runny. Don't let it get thick, yeah? Good. So this is the fun part now.
I think the hardest part was making the pastries, wasn't it?
Yeah, the hardest part is making the pastry. The filling's easy. We can tell you what the cheat method is later on, but we don't want to tell you now. We're teaching you the authentic way. So just keep mixing the flour until it resembles glue.
Could you just bring that to the camera to show us the consistency, please?
Yeah, it should be like the glue you get in.
Okay, guys, do not use PVA glue. We want.
Actually, I keep calling it glue, but what would you call it in English?
Like a slurry?
Glue.
Yeah, yeah.
Sealant?
Yeah. I always call it glue, and I think even in my blog, when I've written the recipe, I'm calling it glue, and people always think I'm mad, which I am anyway. So anyway, if you switch off your frying pans as well, because we're going to now fill the samosas and you don't want that just burning away. I can just use this to show you. Take 1/2 of your samosa. Yeah, you should all get something like this. Yeah. Okay, 1/2. Yeah. And the straight part put towards you. Okay. So you keep it on your worktop and the straight part is at the bottom and the semicircle is away from you. Right? Then take a bit of glue And just, actually, what we're trying to do, if I explain, we're trying to make a cone like that. Yeah, we're trying, so we need to glue this side. Does that make it easy to understand? So if you just turn them both in, you'll get a cone. So we need to glue this. That's why we glue this side so that we can make a cone.
Hi, sorry. Did you cut the samosa in half, or did you fold it to make the half?
Yeah, cut it in half. Cut it
Okay.
in half. So yeah, pretend you could do this with tortillas as well. Okay, you won't get the authentic taste, but you can do this with tortillas. So just imagine you're cutting your tortilla in half. So it's important you taste your filling now, because you're gonna have to eat it. So you might as well make sure your samosa filling tastes nice.
Mina,
So
please, can you go through the glue bit? Somebody's saying, how did you make the glue?
Oh, just add some water. Keep adding a little bit of water into the flour and keep stirring until you get some kind of a slurry.
How much flour was that? 3 tablespoons?
Yeah, 3 tablespoons. I think that should be enough for what we're doing now. And then slowly add water and then just keep mixing. And you should get like this kind of consistency. Like, I don't know, porridge or something. Slurry, yeah. And then I'll show you, if you've missed this bit, what we're trying to do is make a cone. So if you imagine this, a cone, that's what we're trying to make. And obviously we need to stick one side for it to. So the easiest way to explain is if you make sure that when you've cut your pastry in half, make sure that the part that is straight is near you and the semicircle is away from you. And then on the left side of your semicircle, if you just put some glue using a spoon, and then just make a cone by putting one flap on top of another, and you should get a cone. And then you just use a little teaspoon to put your filling inside. And don't overfill it, because when you cook this, especially if you deep fry it, it will expand and then it might crack your pastry. So don't overfill it. What I tend to do is fill it, and then I use this flap just to close it down like that. And then I glue these 2 parts over. So. That's one samosa done. Small and cute.
Anyone has done their samosas ready?
And just
lovely. Asina's done a really good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who else?
Has done that.
Bring them up to your camera so we can see.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm missing out.
Jason's done a really good job. Looks brilliant. Who else?
Yeah, that looks nice.
So what you can do
these
is,
guys are pro. I think they've done it before.
They have. They're just not telling me.
We're at least not pro. Can we go through the folding action again, please?
What action?
Just
The folding again.
folding, making of the cone.
Yeah. Okay. Let me finish. Well, oh, another thing. When there's lots of you, you could get one person to make the cone, one person to do the filling, and then another person to do the flap. And it's quite a nice game then. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that for a minute. Bring one more from here. So you can see this one of mine isn't a perfect semicircle, but it doesn't matter. So if you just remember that you want to make a cone, so just turn the 2 inside and you want to make a cone. That's what you're trying to achieve. So you need to put glue on one side, and that's why the glue happens on the left side well, I'm right-handed, so that's how I'm saying. If you just glue half of this and then just fold it in like a cone, then you've got your little cone to fill your samosas in. Okay. Usually I say to people to let them rest, these rest for a while instead of frying them quickly, but I think if you're going to bake them, that should be fine. Because when you fry them, sometimes they get little bubbles on them because there's still air in the dough, but it's up to you. You can try and let me know whether it worked for you. Okay, so then
make sure there's no holes at the bottom.
Glue the two flaps and then fold them down, but don't overfill your samosas because the filling will expand and you don't want the samosas to crack, especially if you're deep frying them. Okay, and because if there's any glue sticking out, just keep it facing on the top and not touching each other. So otherwise you'll find samosas will stick to each other. So, and then, okay.
I don't know how to do this.
So on hers, that was like the top flap. We had the glue on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
Not right.
Anybody wants to watch the next one, or does everybody feel happy now?
Okay,
And
and then
then you put a couple of teaspoons of this in it.
this is gonna fall out when it's fast. Okay.
Amanda,
So
how are you doing?
Only you don't want to do the one next one. Oh, sorry.
What you can do is you can make up all the cones and then put all the fillings in, and if that's easier for you, sometimes we do that as well.
I think it's gonna explode, and
then you do that and then just glue it shut.
How's it going?
Yeah.
John?
John.
this is really deep fat fucking fire.
Yeah, right, John.
Darren, how's it looking? Are you making a samosa or are you doing a cheat version?
Amanda,
Oh.
you're not on mute.
I'm doing pretty badly, I think, actually.
Are you? Why?
Yeah. Well, I've just about finished these things here. So what do I do next?
So now cut that in half.
Oh, right. Okay. I missed that.
Cut it in half.
Right.
You. That's a good chapati.
Well,
Cut it in
look.
half, and then.
Oh God, I forgot there was another one cooking. Is that okay?
It's only
Whoops.
cooked.
I forgot I left one on the hob, so it's a bit burnt. Yeah. So we've got that in half.
The burnt one can be deep fried. It will taste nice.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so I've got
then
yeah.
we're gonna we need to make a cone, right? So cone is this way, yeah.
Right.
So if you imagine, so what you have to do is put a little bit of glue on this side. Have you got the glue? That's it.
Yeah.
So
Got the glue.
Yeah, just put glue on half of your left side, and then just turn it in, and you'll get a little cone like that. I think I saw you make it. That's it. And now you put your filling inside. Just make sure your filling's not too hot. Yeah.
Filling's good. The filling's the only bit that's all right, actually.
And don't overfill it, especially when you're learning. Don't overfill it, and then just close the top like that. So because you don't want to overfill it, and then also you don't want any filling to come out, and then you just put glue on the two flaps as well, and then you just push the flaps down.
I'm not
So
sure it's the best, but it looks a bit like a giraffe's head.
Yeah, definitely glue that bottom bit together.
Yeah.
It's going to come firing out, isn't it?
If you're put that in the oven rather than deep frying it.
Yeah.
So, but how are you doing, Andrew? Okay, don't overcook your chapati, okay? Don't overcook the chapati because you'll find it harder to turn. The reason why we're leaving them uncooked is it's easy to handle, but when it's hard, it becomes like a tortilla. It's a little bit harder to bend. Okay.
It's a part cook.
So yeah, part cook it. Yeah.
I think I'm going to win the world record for world's smallest samosas.
But hey, you don't call them smallest samosas. You say cocktail style size. Yeah. They look nicer. Mine are quite small. I never make big ones because, well, small is nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few in the oven to see what they turn out like. But most of the time I do deep fry mine. So what you would do if you're going to put it in the oven is spray it with oil. So, okay, this is the healthy version. Just get some oil. This is messy work, that's the only thing. The paste goes everywhere.
Oh.
Right, so if I take
the Kelly's
4, and I'm just going to spray them with some oil and then I'm going to put them in the oven. So again, don't be miser with the oil because you want a little bit of taste of the oil, okay? Sorry if my microwave is making a noise.
Kelly, you have a
Then
problem?
put them in the oven.
Oh, don't worry about it. You just play there. Okay. Just try.
Okay, I'll put them in for 14 minutes. I don't know whether I'll need the 14 minutes or not. So did you guys want to see any more? I mean, I could show you some, make some and show you some fried ones if you're desperate to know, but I think you seem to know what to do.
How long do you deep fry them for?
Sorry?
How long do you deep fry them for?
Until they're crispy.
Could
I
you
wait
do
for them
that
to be
to
like
show people.
The
Sorry?
golden brown?
I could, but because they're what's worrying me is they haven't had time to stick down. They might open in the oil, but I could try. Let me fill up 4 and then I could. Okay. I'll put the frying pan on and we could try.
Andy Cav, I'm going in. If my smoke alarm goes off, you know I've cooked them for too long.
Smoke alarm's now a timer, is it?
I'll try not to put too much oil, otherwise it'll take too long to heat up. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to fill a couple more and then running out of space here.
Serena, while the oil is heating, if obviously they've made quite a few, so what's the best way to freeze them if you wanted to freeze some?
I would put, you know, like in a bag, like that against each other, but wait for them to dry.
Yeah.
And like 5 or 10 in a bag.
Do you freeze uncooked ones?
Yeah, I freeze uncooked ones.
And then when you want to use them, would you defrost them before frying, or would you fry them
No,
frozen?
Cook them frozen. Cook them frozen and Cook them at very low heat because you want to make sure the inside cooks as well. If you defrost and try to fry them, sometimes the pastry starts cracking.
Okay, that's a really good tip.
So this is the stage to freeze them. Anyway, I put some in the oven and I'm gonna fry some so you can see what they look like. But normally you shouldn't fry them straight away. You should give it at least an hour because, as I say, the pastry might have some air bubbles, and also the glue hasn't had time to dry and it might start opening up. I wouldn't like that disaster to happen, but let's see how things go. So overall, has everybody had fun?
Are we going to blend the chutney as well, or how are we going to serve the chutney?
I don't want to blend it now. I think
no.
People can.
But people who've semi-finished it, how should they finish it off?
Just blend it in a blender and that's it. Yeah, ready to eat. Yeah, I've got some that I might have already made that I can show. You can find it.
Another question for you. The pastry mix that I haven't used, can I freeze that and then use that later?
You can put the pastry in like cling film and freeze it, yes.
Well, you would the normal bread dough. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Well, you'd be better to make the wrappers and freeze the wrappers, because if you freeze the actual pastry, it's going to be quite hard to make the wrappers afterwards.
Yeah, you're better off freezing the wrappers. And if you really get stuck and you want to use up your mixture, you can buy some ready-made tortillas from the bakery counter. The tortillas that are thin and a little bit white, and you can do the same trick to fill them up. So to test if your oil is hot, you always sort of put a little bit of dough or something, and if it comes up quickly, then your oil is ready. See, mine's not coming up quickly, so my oil's still not ready for frying. So it's slowly, you can see it coming up. So it's slowly getting there. Right, I'm going to chance it and put a couple in.
Mina, if I'm chucking mine in the oven, do I need to oil them first or just?
Yeah, spray them with oil.
Okay, brilliant, thanks.
Yeah, I've just done mine, and I think mine about 8 minutes left, so I'm just going to see. Okay.
You're making me hungry now, looking at those.
Yeah, when you put them in the oil, try not to touch them if possible, because you don't want to break them. You just have confidence, and then once you see this bubbling happening, then you can slowly turn it over and cook it gently and quite slowly so they get nice and brown. I think there's room for one more. I'm going to put them in so you can see what they'll look like. And normally, as I say, I wouldn't put it in so soon because I'm always afraid they might open up. So I hope some of you will share your photos.
Oh yeah, and Sena's waiting in the lobby. Could someone let her in, please?
Can you have a look at some samosas, please?
Arunbai, can you please let Asina in? She's in the waiting room.
Oh.
So when you cook them too fast, you start getting air bubbles. So you should really allow your pastry to rest afterwards as well when you've filled it. That's what I was trying to say to you. See, you can see little air bubbles. That won't happen if you fry your samosas about an hour or two later. This is quite, you have to take your time. Don't rush it, okay? When you're frying them. Even in the deep fat fryer, take your time and just turn them over. And I can already see that they're looking crispy. And because we've used plain flour, they'll be nice and white, and they won't look dark like the restaurant ones. Yeah, see, I was telling you, if you cook them too fast, they sometimes try to bubble up, okay? So don't cook them too fast. Let them rest. So if you decide to make samosas, it might be a good idea to make them, leave them, and then fry them an hour later or even next day.
This was a nice dinner.
Too late for dinner now. I think this will be tomorrow's dinner,
course.
isn't it?
Midnight snack actually with the wine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, that's a good idea, Aaron. Get the wine open.
Yeah.
I think they're nearly ready. They should be crispy. When I touch them, they feel crispy. So slowly turn one at a time, and yeah, this one I'm going to switch off because they're ready. See, if you were in my face-to-face class, you would have been able to taste these. Yeah, just take them out on a kitchen paper and also, you know, make sure you drain everything off completely. And you'll see the difference between the fried ones and the oven ones in a minute. The oven ones got about 4 minutes left. So I don't know how to show you, but they look really crispy.
They look amazing. They look so nice.
Mm. And look, and the lovely color, because we made the pastry ourselves. No preservatives, nothing. And
Yeah, that looks nice. Matt and Fiona, they look nice. Yes, yeah. Oh, wow.
oh wow,
Perfect.
yours look. What do they taste like, Andy?
I don't know. I haven't tasted them yet.
Yeah, but as I said to you, if leave them for a bit longer next time before frying, because you don't want the bubbles. John's looks nice as well. Andrew, how can you eat one before me? He's been having wine. Now he has a samosa before I have mine.
Just, how long do they cook for in the oven, Mina?
I put mine for 14 minutes.
14.
But
Brilliant.
mine's one of the small ovens, so I don't know. I'm gonna see what it looks like now. It looks crispy. Yeah. Yeah, I think 2 more minutes. What I've done is halfway I turned them over. They look very white, but they look quite crispy. So we can see what the difference is.
Okay, so while Mina's gone off to check the oven for the baked ones, if anybody has any questions, then please unmute yourself and feel free to ask a question.
Anyway, this is some of the chutney that I'd made earlier.
Wow, that looks so nice.
But unfortunately, I tried to clean the side, but still, if I can get the other samosas out, we can see the difference. Any questions? Do you want me to show any process again? Do let me know. You know, I've still got lots of mixture left over. Still got lots of dough left over. If you want me to roll some out for you again, to show you. Anybody feeling nervous, do let me know.
Can you make bigger ones instead of the small cones?
I didn't hear.
Can you make bigger ones instead of the small cones?
Say it again.
Can you make bigger ones instead of the small cones?
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, you can make small, little, up to you. But I think it's what you can handle, isn't it? I think presentation-wise, this is a good size.
If you want to make a bigger ones, I think you'll have a bigger chapati.
Yeah, just make a bigger chapati, but or buy the bigger tortillas.
It looks like nobody's got any questions. You all seem to be very confident.
So yeah,
They're all starting to taste the samosas now.
Because we're all eating.
that always happens, Naina, in the class. Towards the end, everybody can't wait to go and start eating.
There's a question. Is it correct to put the filling on the oily side of the dough? I'm not quite sure why you got an oily side to the dough, but can Mina answer that?
Don't understand that. Filling. Because the oily side is when we are going to roast to make the chapati. Sorry, tell me more so I can reply.
Then that question was from Fab.
When we divide the chapati in two.
You can unmute and speak. It might be easier. Fab.
Okay. Yeah, I'm speaking for Fab. Sorry. When we divide the chapati in two,
yes.
Are we putting the filling on the oily side? So are we putting the oily side on top?
No, yeah, you put it on the inside. Yeah, when you do the cone, that part is inside. Yes.
Okay. Thank
yes.
you.
Because that way you get a nice crispy outside. Okay. Yes, I know what you mean. I've finished using them. Or I've got, yeah. When they separate, the bit that's got little bubbles you keep on the outside, and the bit that you had cooked inside stays. So yeah, that goes inside.
The camera here.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, this camera.
Yeah.
So yeah. The bit that's cooked stays outside, and this is a bit that was inside, and then you do your cone that way. So good question, yes, and then you do your filling, because this is like half cooked, and when you're frying it, it'll make it nice and crispy. So I took the ones out from the oven, and you can see they're a lot whiter, although they're crispy. They look a little bit different from the oil ones. But they're still nice. They're crispy and they've cooked well. So it's a personal taste. I don't know, anybody baked theirs and had theirs, did they think they were nice?
What about the air fryer?
So yeah, it looks really nice. I'm quite tempted to have one.
There's a baked one.
Matt and Fiona are already enjoying theirs, I can see. You've been caught on camera.
Yeah. So guys, do you want any more questions, or shall I say good night to you guys, or do you want to please say something?
I'm all good. It was really, really good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. They're delicious.
Yeah. Any question? We have videoed this, and we are going to work out some way to send it to you. But if any of you know how to, because it's quite a big file, so if I think if WeTransfer won't work, we need something else to send the files to you. So
they all work in computing, most of them. So.
Exactly. You should be able to advise me.
Sign up for Microsoft OneDrive.
Yeah.
That will work though.
But Microsoft OneDrive. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I will have to ask my son. I will have to ask my son about that as well, but still. But I
OneDrive, so can do that.
Okay. So I think I'm really grateful for Naina and my husband to be doing the admin, because it's not that easy when you can't see everything and you're trying to teach. So anyone want to learn how to make another samosa, let me know. But what I've done here is, if you can see, I've sort of made all my cones ready, and then I'm just going to fill them in, and then I'm going to shut them, close the flap.
So tomorrow morning I'll get a parcel, will I?
Yes, you will.
Now.
By the time they get to you, they'll be a little bit stale, but you can pretend they were from Tesco's then.
I just wanted to say a big thank you to Mina, because you've done a fab job of the class today. And I had the job of just doing the admin, so I've had to sit down while Mina's been doing all the hard work. So well done, Mina, for that. The samosas look amazing. And all you guys, thank you very much for choosing Cook with Mina and Naina to do the class. We really, really enjoyed teaching you. And our aim is that you all had a good time, and you've gone, you'll now recreate samosas or talk about your samosa experience. We do more classes. You can find us on Cook with Mina and Naina on Eventbrite. So if anybody wants to do a group class with us, then please come and check our website. We also have a Facebook page called Cook with Mina and Naina. We both have blogs. Mina's blog is called Give Me Some Spice. My blog is called Simply Sensational Food, and we're both on Instagram as well. So if you guys cook anything or make anything, do tag us with your samosa pictures. Alternatively, please email us at minaandnaina@gmail.com your pictures. We'll put them all on our Facebook page, because we like bragging about our classes and telling everybody what brilliant students you all are. Forthcoming classes, we've got a gyozo class coming up. We've got a aloo paratha, which is a potato class with a spicy potato, a paratha class with a spicy potato filling. Next week, Mina's also teaching a sweet corn and sweet corn and kidney bean class. I'm also doing a spring roll class. So if anybody wants to learn how to make spring rolls, then that's another exciting class that we do. It's one of our most popular classes. So please do check out our Eventbrite page to book those classes if you want to come along and join us. We'd love to see some of you there, because I think you're all excellent at cooking, and I think you'd love the recipes as well. So please do join us. We will send a feedback form, so please do give us feedback. We don't mind having any sort of feedback, because it helps us to improve the classes. So if you enjoyed something particularly, tell us. If there's something we could do better, please do tell us as well, so we can learn from the experience. And we look forward to all your pictures, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Give you back to Mina.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Do remember you've got to put your chutney through the blender as well. Don't forget that, and fry your samosas at low heat and enjoy making them. And thank you very much for
thank you,
being here. So we really enjoyed the evening. So
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, Max.
Oh, that's nice.
Your big ones are a bit overdone.